Hi, once more. Short introduction. I'm a hobby game developer making a small horror project in Unity. The menu was what I ended up working on, so this devlog, as the video title says, will be completely about menus. Nah, not completely. Before telling you about the thrilling experience of designing a main and pause menu, I'd like to show you everything I've also done. Won't take long, trust me, only
11
seconds. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's begin with the main menu. The first thing you're going to see when starting the game. The concept is to use an old TV to display the different options and make it a fully animated 3D scene. I always liked menus that were three-dimensional. My favorite example might be 1080 Snowboarding or its sequel Avalanche. You could navigate the cottage and the camera would follow you around. The playable characters weren't just pictures or placed in nowhere, they were chilling in the cottage as if alive, waiting for you to choose. Simply seeing how they were positioned told you a lot about their character traits. Anyway, my version isn't as complex, not even closely, but it is inspired by those kind of menus. I began with a sketch to get a feel for the design. It's easier to draw what you have in mind and use that as a template than trying to do it from memory. After sketching the basic look, I wrote down what options I wanted to include. All the different interactive elements like buttons, sliders or toggles and how they should be placed. Now I basically turned what I had on paper digital. Here we stop at the first station, the VHS cassettes. You can click on Options, Start or Quit. That takes you to the corresponding submenu. The way it works is to have different canvases. Those are a sort of space to put all the UI elements into and have them disabled at the very start of the game. I then do a simple check which VHS cassette was clicked on by comparing the tag, a special unique name for the game object. When the player chooses, for example, options, I enable the matching canvas and so forth. Let's try options actually. The options in options do function. You can change the resolution, full screen, well, you can see it yourself, right? And exiting brings you back to the VHS cassettes. But the player needs a way to get back to the main menu from the actual game, or he can't ever quit. So a pause menu is kinda necessary as well. I knew this would be quite easier to do. You don't need as many options and I can use a normal two-dimensional UI overlay. I tried to keep it the same theme of an old VCR menu screen to connect them visually, mainly ripping off, drawing inspiration from Hotline Miami. Close one. When the player presses escape, the game is paused by setting time.timescale to 0. This means Unity will set the rate at which time passes to 0, freezing it. If time.timescale would be 0.5, it would slow down the game, playing at half speed, and 1 is normal speed. A small window pops up showing you resume, to unpause, which can also be done by just pressing escape again, options, which opens the brightness and volume sliders, and title screen, which loads the main menu. To have the sliders display whatever the players could have set in the main menu, I saved the values as a player pref. Those can store floats, ints or strings for later. I then access them at the start of the next scene and feed them into the sliders of the pause menu. The same thing's also true in the opposite direction. When players change the values in the pause menu, then return to the main menu, those sliders will be right as well. This is it. Now that I got the menus out of the way, at least until I need to polish them further, I can start to implement more actual content. I really want to do more level design and certain gameplay ideas. I think the next devlog will take a bit longer to make. And I think this video, the one you're watching, is coming to an end.